Drop, catch, switch. Drop, catch, switch. For one brief moment, the whole class was in sync. Peace spread through the room. Then Hannah's ball skittered away. Aiden's and Ethan's soon followed. That was really good. It's about time to finish up anyway. Remember, we don't throw the balls into the drawer. Place the balls in the drawer and get back to your classrooms. Aiden, can you please take mine as well? Thanks. 4 balls were placed in the drawer, and the students trooped back across the hall. Maybe later she'd stop by and see if Jack Thatcher needed help. That classroom was trouble, but she loved the challenge. Jacob Finley poked his head into the classroom. Miss Joe, can you come down to the 7th grade room? We're supposed to be writing some Japanese poems, but Mrs. Hens says she wouldn't have any hair left if you didn't come help. It was so hard to keep a straight face. Jacob's innocent look was so well practiced. This was when she wanted an invisible camera. Maybe make a picture book called Injured Innocence, full of faces of her students. Very few came to the reset room without causing trouble in their own classrooms first. We can't have that, now can we? I take it you are causing some of the hair loss? Not me! His eyes got wider, more innocent. Mrs. Hens asked that you not bring the balls this time. Joe grabbed her traveling classroom and they headed down the hall. The teacher was actually in the hall waiting for them, looking as if she were about to run away or commit bloody murder. Jacob, get back to your seat. We'll be right in. After he left them, Mrs. Hens said, Joe, help. I'm teaching haiku. This was supposed to be a fun project. How hard is it to write 17 syllables? This was my gift to them for hard work. Can you get them back in focus for me? Just don't do anything too physical. They are right on my last nerve. Joe just smiled and walked into the classroom. Can anyone tell me what you are working on? We're writing haikus, but Emma said Madison's poem was, That's enough. Remember, no accusations. Just live in the present. So, haiku. You've all been to the reset room at least once, and you know what I do. If you were me, what would you suggest to a student working on poetry? She moved to the whiteboard to write down what the students called out. Alright, so we have ball of physics, lazy eights, cush bowls, mirror drawing, and storytelling. Let's eliminate both types of ball work because I left them back in my room. She eliminated ball of physics and cush from the list. A little gift to her frazzled colleague. We have 3 options left. To help us decide, why don't you tell me something about haiku? Just call out your answers. The board began to fill with words. Okay, we all agree haiku are short, and most say they are pretty. I did hear one stupid from the crowd. Given how things are going, I'm going to add difficult to our list. If I look at our solutions list, lazy eights, mirror drawing, and storytelling, what is the remedy for something that is difficult, short, and pretty? Raise your hands for lazy eights. In the end, the class chose storytelling. How was she going to make that work for haiku? Let's make a tangle telling the story of your poem. A tangle is a drawing that has lots of detail, but it's all drawn within a small square. Like a haiku has lots of emotion, but it's all in 3 lines. We'll use the papers that you already have in front of you, so that you can refer to the picture story when you write your haiku. Start by drawing 4 dots to make the 4 corners of your square. Now connect the dots. The connecting lines can be straight or wavy, just whatever kind of edges you want for your square. Draw a dot near the center of your square and connect it to the corners, making 4 triangles out of your square. Along the top edge, write where I started, and in this triangle, draw the idea of your haiku. It doesn't have to be perfect, just what you thought of and are writing your haiku about. It can be a picture Words or numbers, anything you like. As she walked around the room, Jo liked what she saw. The first triangles began to fill with stick figures, spirals, and crudely crafted animals. Jacob's drawing was an eye with a big star in it. What could that be? When most of the pencils stopped moving, Jo continued. Along the right edge, so up and down, write where my problem is. Inside the triangle, write or draw what makes this poem hard for you to complete. Anything you think of is great. This time it was mostly words and numbers that appeared. She liked the page that said rules are stupid. Along the bottom edge of your square, write what I want, and then fill the triangle with what you want. It can be what you want for the poem, what you are thinking about right now, anything you want. There were drawings of lunch, a sleeping cat, a mouse eating cheese. Her favorite this time was Jacob's. He said, "What I want? To be finished." Shout that. Before filling in the final blank part, I want you to trace the square and its triangles with your finger, or draw over it with your pencil. If you want, you can also rewrite the words on the outside and draw over your drawings. Some of the students traced with their fingers, others with their pencils, drawing over and over the same lines. This was where the magic happened. The students' posture changed. The air became a bit more alive. The students relaxed and focused at the same time. The first time Jo observed this at a workshop, she was amazed. 12 years later, it was expected, and the reason the school kept renewing her position. Now it's time for the conclusion of your story about the haiku. Write what my poem feels like along the left side of the square. Since haiku are made to show a feeling, I want a drawing, no words this time, to show what emotion your poem feels like. If you need, you can draw a face, but any shape that feels right to you is what we want here. There were faces, one with a tongue sticking out, not sure what that feeling was. Others drew lines, stars, and spirals. One student completely colored in the space, making it look black and empty. When you finish, get your poem out and begin work. Anytime you feel stuck, just trace or draw over your storytelling tangle. Jo left the classroom. Later, Jacob caught her in the hallway. "Miss Jo, can I show you my poem?" There was the tangle with the funny eye. Amidst scratch-outs and doodles, the poem read, "A glint in my eye. My grandfather said to me, it makes you special." What a lovely poem. I can see your grandfather really loves you. Jo handed the bedraggled sheet back to the student. "Well, maybe so. Grandpa's been dead for 5 years, but every time we saw him, he talked about my eyes. Thanks for helping me. Mrs. Hent had a look in her eyes that said we were all headed for the principal's office."